Welcome to episode 2.
Now, Jack, I know you've been all over the world with GM. You've been to Canada, to Egypt, to Singapore, to the GCC. I want to ask about the specific considerations you have to make for this market, especially since it does get very, very hot.
That's a great question, Ferris, but I would start by saying General Motors has been making vehicles for over 100 years and selling them around the world. So we've got so much experience and talent in our engineering fraternity to really understand the customer needs around the world. As we get specifically to the GCC, there are 3 key facets that we look at. Actually, we look at them in all markets, but for GCC specifically, we want to ensure customer comfort, we want to ensure customer and surrounding safety, and the utmost, we want to ensure that we're meeting all our regulatory environments. So in our development process for the vehicle, we have a team that sits here that feeds in all market requirements into the product development phase of the product. So the first thing is we make sure that all of the unique regulatory requirements, the uniqueness of what the road and safety ministries here authorities want us to do here, we implement all of those elements into our vehicle. Secondly, from a heat and how the vehicle may act differently in this market, all of that data actually goes into that process. The heat specifically, what we do is, it's warm from Arizona to Canada. So we understand that. I would say about almost 18 to 2 years prior to even the vehicle landing into a customer's driveway, we start off by replicating these conditions in a wind tunnel or a bench. So we do a lot of extensive testing there and ensure that it's performing and will be able to perform as we replicate that. Then we bring the vehicles here well ahead of when we deliver them to you. We have a team here that engages in testing them, throughout the year, including the tough months. So that really works to ensuring the customer that we're delivering the customer experience from a cooling perspective. And the last bit on EVs, the amount of heat that these big batteries would produce to give you the 1,000 horsepower and 700 kilometers, all of those systems are checked. The vehicle continuously monitors those systems. So there's a very comprehensive pathway to getting it to you to ensure that we're fully adaptable to the environment that we're going to be selling our vehicles in.
Absolutely, and GM has so many ambitious ideas for the future of the automotive industry. But I want to ask about you in your role. What has been your focus with your role here in the UAE now?
Well, I'll take you back now a little bit. The journey with General Motors that I've been on, which has been absolutely outstanding, one of the most common themes across all markets, customers, and cultures that I've been able to work at, the heart of it and why we're able to hold on and why the customers love General Motors is our focus on customer experience. And that, I believe, if we're talking about the future of electric vehicles and how they're going to be connected and the personalization they're going to bring, customer experience at every touch point that we touch the customer, whether they're in the research phase of buying a vehicle or they're shopping and comparing, or the actual buying experience, which if you look at the overall journey is one of the biggest pain points is in the buying process, banks and trade-ins and so forth. And then eventually once you take delivery, the entire ownership, which actually extends a lot more than a few months, 4 or 5 years in a vehicle. So we want to ensure that our customer experience at every touch point is driven by the customer and it's personalized. So my focus here since 2022 and through now is that as we ramp up and bring all these great new vehicles into the marketplace, that we have an ecosystem between offline and online, which we define as an omni-channel experience, that is absolutely digitized and it's driven and led by the customer and gives them a very consistent experience throughout their entire journey with our vehicles.
Absolutely. GM is building more than just cars, it's building experiences for customers throughout the whole ownership journey. You need some help though, don't you? Because especially with EVs, there's an entire infrastructure that needs to go in with it. How is GM working towards a future where everybody can be in an EV one day?
Well, we're working across multiple facets on this, and I would say what you're really referring to is around the EV adaptation, right? Our premise, first of all, is the adaptation. We're going to let the customer lead us as to how fast and where they want to get. Because at the end of the day, if we're going to be about experiences and about customers, we're going to let the customer lead that journey on adaptation. However, we have to play a catalyst role in it. And the catalyst piece comes really in 3 facets. The first facet you talked about is the infrastructure. Now, infrastructure and development of the infrastructure will vary around the world. But let's talk about where we are today in the GCC. Whether you are in Dubai or you're moving to Doha or you're going to Riyadh, all of these markets and countries have an absolute vision to transform into a sustainable form of mobility and move towards some form of electrification. But the infrastructure is not there today. But the vision of these countries and the regulatory environment are absolutely right, and the leadership in these countries are actually investing and pushing for a lot of infrastructure. So the role we play there is two-part. One, we're in strategic partnerships, whether you talk about E&D or ADNOC, and developing infrastructure with them and helping them accelerate where, when, and how, and then bringing it back to that software, ensuring that we have, for example, our mobile app for this Cadillac allows Ferris that if he's going to Abu Dhabi tomorrow to plan that trip and show him every point and location where a charger is available. Incredible. So we're working on strategic partnerships to drive the infrastructure, what it would need, helping them understand what the vehicle can do, and then integrating it back into our ecosystem. The second place is electric vehicles or anything electric. Your behavior changes dynamically. You're not going to be standing waiting in line for 20 minutes for gas at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. Similar to your smartphones, you're going to be charging these vehicles overnight whilst you're not using them. Okay, so what we've learned with over 10 years of EV sales around North America and in other markets that we've selling, and even here where we introduced the Bolt almost 7 or 8 years ago, our buyers' behavior was that people were charging the vehicles at night. So one of the huge enablers on that front is that we're offering our customers a standard charger with their vehicle. And in the customer experience piece, we're actually putting it as part of our delivery process, where we'll come to Ferris's house, we'll see what it needs to get one set up there, we'll help you, give you the contacts to get your permits done, but we'll make sure that Ferris has a charger before he goes home with his brand new EV. And that's what we're making possible within our process with every EV owner or every individual that buys an EV over the next 2 years.
That's amazing. And the thing is, you talk about charging it at night. You told me something before we got in the car that makes me think it doesn't even need that much charging. This vehicle that we're in right now, how far can it go without a charge?
Well, it's brand new. I haven't fully tested it. I told you, you're the first one. But I had the opportunity to take it out to showcase it to a few customers over the weekend. And it showed about 743 kilometers range when I got into the vehicle on Friday afternoon. And when I plugged it in on Sunday evening after having multiple trips through the city, a quick trip to Abu Dhabi and back, I was still showing 280 kilometers of range left, and it was 47 degrees and the air conditioning was on throughout those trips. So, the range improves, helps adaptation. Regulatory environment, infrastructure improves, helps with adaptation. Customers have an easy solution at home, they don't worry about it, helps with the adaptation. So, all of these things put together is what's going to allow us to evolve and get to where we need to with people adapting and taking on this amazing new product.
Jack, before we end, I want to throw back to the very beginning of the interview where you said the first thing that you need to be in this business is to have a passion for cars. You must be so excited, and I want to know what you would like our audiences to remember and what you're passionate about when it comes to the future of GM.
Well, I have been passionate, and that's why I told you I was in the business. I am just so proud of where our vision is taking the 000 vision that we have, the tech that we're putting in the vehicle, the customer at the center of what we want to do, keeping them safe, keeping them connected, and always giving back to the customer. I think that evolution is great, but I would take it back to why do I have passion? And I would say the ultimate piece of that is if you want to drive on the Nürburgring with our V Series Cadillac and get that adrenaline going, we have something for our customers in our portfolio. You want an executive drive to what we're doing today and be able to conduct your entire meeting and not anybody know you're actually on the road, we can enable that today. And the last piece that keeps me passionate and so proud of what we do and what General Motors and its brands do is that final emotional connect. It's our designs. It's our designs and what they mean. It's like a piece of jewelry that actually connects you and your personality to each one of our unique designs and what we bring to the marketplace. So that's really what keeps me getting up every morning at 5:30 and excited about going and getting into my vehicle and getting to work, because I get to do that every single morning.
Jack Uppal, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for letting me experience this fantastic vehicle, and thank you for starting off at the GM podcast in the perfect way.
Thank you, and thank you for having us and showcasing all our great product and giving us an opportunity to talk about it.
And remember, this episode 1, it's just the beginning.